Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of RLG Cast Reviews. I'm here with Duckpool himself, CM Punk, JD
CM
Triple
Pool.
Seven. We're gonna be reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine,
Hmm.
Deadpool 3, whatever you want to call it, his entry into the MCU.
And a
And
feather in the cap to the Fox universe.
Putty's not here, but I'm sure he gave it a 10.
I think he gave it a 9 or a 9.5.
The feather in the cap of the Fox universe. So we're gonna jump into this one. It will be a
Hmm.
little bit of spoiler-free talk, and then we'll go into
Yep.
full spoilers. We'll try not to keep the video too long. JD's gonna tell you what this movie's about.
So basically, what this movie is about is Deadpool's universe is dying, which is basically the Fox universe, which is Marvel Universe, I think 10005, which is the same universe as the X-Men films that were the original X-Men films with from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And his universe is dying, and we find out that Wolverine is the anchor point of that universe. So basically the movie is Deadpool trying to find another Wolverine to save his universe
So I have a question for you based
without
on
giving
that.
too much. Yeah,
I don't know if gives like spoilers, but what universe is the Wolverine from that he gets?
they didn't mention it.
Okay. So
My guess, if I can give it away now, or should I wait for spoilers on this one?
okay, wait for spoilers.
Okay.
Um, Generally, I thought it, I don't know. The acting was well done. I think the
Hmm.
comedy had some really high points. It didn't all hit. Um, there was a lot of times where jokes came where I don't even think anybody else watching it understood that
Yeah,
it was a joke.
they were a little bit high over their heads, kind of thing. Yeah.
It was an overuse of drug and swearing
Hmm.
jokes where I felt like sometimes it was just unnecessary. Like it was just to
Too
do it.
much Coca-Cola jokes,
Yeah, big
if you know
time.
what I mean.
Um, Funny at first, but then it just kept
Yeah.
happening. Uh,
Because in the trailer they make fun of the fact that they're not allowed to do it with Feige, but that's all they did in the movie.
Yeah, it's all they did in the movie. I thought
Copious amounts.
Hugh Jackman was so
He was
good.
on point. Yeah, he was on point.
So, and we're not going to talk about really anybody else because it's all spoilers.
Yeah,
What's her name? Emma Corrin as the what's her name?
Nova, Cassandra Nova.
Sandra Nova was really good as well.
Yeah,
One of the better villains we've seen in a while.
even Matthew McFadden as Paradox. I enjoyed his character.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? That's true. That's true. He was pretty good. There's a lot of little interesting Easter eggs sprinkled throughout this that I
Hmm.
enjoyed. There's a lot of fun moments. There's a couple really good fight scenes.
A lot of fun cameos.
A lot of fun cameos. I think it was well filmed.
Hmm.
Something that like we haven't seen in a while. Like it's really well like just put together.
Yeah,
I did not really like the story.
I was gonna say I was gonna agree with you on that. The story, like I basically summed up the story for you in about 30 seconds, and that's literally the story.
So the movie starts off like getting you really into it. I'd say the
Hmm.
first 20 minutes you're like, wow. But then from 20 minutes till like an hour and 10 minutes, literally nothing happens. It's just
Yeah,
completely dead space of cameos
it's like a buddy cop movie almost.
but it just didn't flow well for me. And
Yeah.
then after that you get like the
The ride was fun.
idea,
Don't get me wrong. Even though the
yeah.
story didn't go, the ride itself was fun.
But then around that point, just over the hour mark, it starts to like invest you into the
Hmm.
story. But then from there until the finale, nothing happens
Well,
again.
you
And then
don't
in
really
the
find out the MacGuffin until almost the third act.
until the big fight scene at the end, okay, which we
Hmm.
won't name. We'll talk about that in the spoilers. But until the big fight scene at the end, all of that conclusion to me, I was just like, what? This is just like every other
It was
movie.
character exposition
It's
for this new Wolverine, I guess.
to me, it's not much. It's not that far removed from the last Marvel movies that came out post Endgame that this movie makes fun of.
Yeah.
It's pretty just empty. It's a very hollow movie with like a
It
few
didn't have
big
the same, let's
moments.
say, as like, even though this probably was a little bit better movie, it didn't have the same heart that Guardians 3 had.
I think there's a few moments of it, especially like in certain scenes where like the music kicks in, like the
Hmm.
final scene with Like a Prayer.
Yeah.
I think that was like really
The
impactful to
opening
me.
scene, like everybody's talking about the opening credits with Deadpool dancing to NSYNC.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Um,
fine. I mean, but everybody's talking about that scene though.
Yeah.
But the music worked well for the movie. They had good choices of songs for the
I
movie.
thought it was fine, and as a whole it was a good watch. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's better than the first Deadpool.
Deadpool #1 is still the best Deadpool film.
So just
I'd put this in top 5 in terms of Fox Universe movies. I would put this top 5.
yeah, but I think that's maybe not. Logan,
Yeah.
X2,
Mm-hmm.
Days of Future Past, The Rogue Cut,
Yeah.
First Class,
And Deadpool.
and Deadpool. Maybe
Yeah. Okay. So it's close. Yeah.
the other Days of Future
But if
Past
you
if we're
take
counting other versions.
if you take away the non-rogue cut, the actual theatrical release, then this is in the top 5.
Possibly, yeah. Anywho,
But beside the point.
I want to get into spoilers because I think this is one of those kind of movies where we
Mhm.
need to talk about spoilers. So if you just came here for
Yeah.
the score, we're just going to give you a score.
Yeah.
You're going to give them a score.
I'm gonna give him a score. This is kind of between a 7.6 and a 7.8 for me.
Okay. For me, it's like a 7.3. I would say I don't know for sure where I would land, but it's under 7.5. I think entertainment value is there. There wasn't much to it. I think it's way overhyped. Is it an
Yeah.
enjoyable experience in the theaters? Yes. Is it
But
actually
I
a
mean, the
really
way
good
we were
movie?
talking before the movie came out, sorry to cut you off, but the way we were talking, we were so overhyped for this movie. And I think maybe the overhype of this movie kind of killed the momentum of it a little bit.
Yeah, I also just think there's not much. There's literally not much to this movie. It's a
Yeah.
very empty
It's
story.
hollow. That's a good word for it. Hollow.
It's a story that I struggled to care about because it was something that's supposed to be so big, but really it
Mhm.
was so small.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to just finishing that off. We're
Mhm.
gonna go jump into spoilers right now.
The spoiler room brawl.
Spoiler room brawl. All right, so if 3, 2, 1, spoilers.
Spoilers. Okay. So going back to what I was saying earlier in the review, my guess is this Wolverine, because he let his whole universe die. This is the Wolverine from Days of Future Past if he did not succeed.
And is that actually a thing?
That is actually a thing. Yes.
But isn't the Wolverine from Days of Future Past who did not succeed the one that has missing his hand?
Nope. That's Age of Apocalypse Wolverine,
Oh, that
which
is Age of
you
Apocalypse.
see him in. He's one of the, like, talking
That
about
was
spoilers.
awesome, by the way. That
Yeah.
was my favorite thing ever. Seeing all the suits and like the little
Yeah.
Wolverine, and
Henry Cavill.
that one I didn't get.
It was just a little kick in the
If you
teeth
were
for
gonna
DC.
do that, why not do
Apparently
the Harry?
that scene was cut. That was supposed to be like a 5-minute fight scene.
Really?
Yeah. And we'll probably get that in the director's cut.
I hope you get Daniel Radcliffe because I was like, why not do what people really wanted, which was either Daniel Radcliffe or Tom Hardy Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's the guy who I would have had him run into.
Patch would have been perfect for Daniel Radcliffe.
Patch was wicked, by the way. I was so happy when I saw that.
Yeah.
Patch,
we got 5'3" Wolverine.
Yeah, we got Hulk versus Wolverine.
Yeah. With the brown suit.
Yeah, I mean, let's go. Come on. There was stuff like that is what I appreciate. But like I said, that's all crammed into the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it's such a quick montage that, like, if they kept the montage longer, I have a feeling the director's cut's going to be like 3 hours long.
I have a feeling the director's cut, if there is one, is going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much more to the story that got left out.
We'll get more Wolverine versus Hulk, probably.
Yeah, all of that. You remember how in the Deadpool 2 extended cut, that whole beginning sequence when he's like trying to figure out what's happening, he goes to like Japan and all that stuff, and those scenes are all so extended. I think that's what's going to happen here. All of those Wolverines he encounters, there's going to be an extended scene of that.
So I also think, like, because I said it takes place in the X-Men universe, is also because they absolutely desecrated Logan in the opening fight scene.
Yeah.
Because that is the Logan from the X-Men films. So that's how we know it takes place in the same universe. So he was the anchor point, and hence the reason why Deadpool's universe is dying, because Logan is gone and he's the anchor point of that universe. And what Paradox wants to do is just snip it instead of prolonging it.
So that makes sense.
That's why he offers the MCU role to Deadpool in the movie.
But that explains. There's two things that I don't like. Okay. and I'll say them right now. But that explains why they have all those characters in the void because of they're
They're
from
all
that
gone by that
universe,
point.
right?
Exactly. So if you go by that logic, that Deadpool movie takes place after the events of Days of Future Past, right? So if that takes place at the events after the movie Days of Future Past, that means that Sabretooth doesn't exist anymore. He's been pruned. Toad doesn't exist anymore because he's pruned. Calypso doesn't exist anymore because she's been pruned, right? That's why they're all in the void.
Okay, but let's talk about this for a second. In Logan, the world is not post-apocalyptic all the way, but it is slightly. And it's to the point where mutants can't exist anymore. So how did Deadpool exist this whole time if the Logan universe it was like how it was? Like they would know he was a mutant and he would have been hunted, just like they were trying to hunt Wolverine and all
True.
those guys.
That's one of the plot holes I'm still trying to figure out myself.
Right? It's like all of a sudden everything was just normal and the mutants were allowed to exist. Like we see Juggernaut, we see Colossus, like all
Yeah.
those people.
And clearly it's not post-apocalyptic because the Deadpool universe is not post-apocalyptic.
Exactly. And because Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukio are part of the X-Men team, wouldn't they know who Logan was
Yeah.
when he shows up? Because they don't.
No.
And I was like, okay, that kind of like we're losing it here a little bit. Digressing from that point, I want to just point this out, and I was hoping to get to talk to the Putty about this, but I will document it now so I don't forget. I almost was right about every single thing. That
Dude,
whole
I gotta
was,
say, you called out. You knew that was coming. Let's give it Wesley Snipes. You called it.
Wesley Snipes. I called fucking it being a purgatory place where they're all stuck in the middle. I called all of that shit that you see in the trailer happens right at the beginning of the movie when it did. I called out that all those guys are just hooded guys. It's not Marvel trying to hide anything from you. Like I literally nailed that beat for beat, and I'm telling you this right now, I did not watch anything about this movie.
Yeah.
Like I didn't watch any new rock stars like trying to predict what was gonna happen.
Neither did I. I also enjoy so clearly, and it's a different Juggernaut too, and it's a different. They even had the Russian from Punisher, but it's not Kevin. I was kind of hoping for Kevin Nash.
You know what, bro? You nailed it. I was like, why do I know this stupid guy in the tugboat shirt? I'm like, is that fucking?
Instead of Kevin Nash, they got Tugboat.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, oh, it's Tugboat. But then that's exactly what it was. I knew it. I like the mentions of all that stuff. I thought that was
Magneto's
really
already dead. Daredevil's already dead in this universe. He died before they were able to make it.
They explained that all. And I thought, listen, I don't want to be that guy, but fucking Channing Tatum was great.
Yeah. Does anybody understand what he's saying?
He's like speaking perfect fucking. But it's funny, you sent me that video, and that's literally what that video. Or did I send it to you? The one
I sent it to you. With the X-Men.
He's like, can you speak English? He's like, I am speaking English.
Mon ami, I am speaking English.
God damn it! Say something again. Talk again.
Leave America, but I am American.
I thought that was great.
And it's like different universes. Like when they were doing the whole exposition, like it's like, you know, the universes that could have been, and then Channing's like, or the universe that never was, which is in reference to that Gambit movie that never happened. Because he even said, he goes, I just found myself in the void one day. I didn't even know how I got here.
Wesley Snipes was such a smart addition.
Yeah.
Everything he did was awesome. Daphne Keane was really good as X-23. The one thing I didn't like.
How did she end up there, though? That's what I want to know.
Well, she would have been part of that universe. So because of the threat that she could be another Logan, right? They pruned her just to get her out of the way. She was really good, but I didn't like, and I'm hoping this comes with the director's cut. She gets introduced, and then all of a sudden that scene, she disappears for 5 minutes of talking, and then shows up again. And you're like, what? Well, I forgot she was there. And then she didn't really get used, and then she did the little speech with Logan, and then kind of disappeared. Then the fight scene starts. You're like, oh, she's badass. She put on the glasses. Then she disappears again.
The same glasses that she wore.
Exactly. Yeah, and that was awesome. But then she disappears again all the way until she throws the Juggernaut helmet up to the
well, I mean, the whole scene where she decapitates the Juggernaut was pretty cool.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Like she's using her claws and her feet claws to like.
I just thought it was weird that she was introduced as such an integral part, but then she's not
Yeah.
really in the movie.
Well, technically, this Logan doesn't know who she is, so she means nothing to him, but he means everything to her.
But it means I think from his perspective of being a hero so long, he should understand what the situation is, the way
Yeah,
she's explaining it.
yeah. That's why when the scene when they're all in the minivan, uh, she gets it's like he's the only one you don't see, and then he gets out of the trunk.
Yeah, and I like that. I like
Yeah,
that's something that build up to that scene was like, oh shit, this is going good, and then it starts off great, and then it's just a
yeah,
big blah 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 of nonsense fighting,
yeah.
and then we get to a scene where it's
Well, it
just
was a
too
blah blah.
much.
There was like a 20-minute, as fun as it was a 20-minute fight scene in the Honda minivan for no reason.
It's and that the first fight scene where he's like, strap it on, nerds. This is what you've all been waiting for, and it was Wolverine versus Deadpool in the beginning. And that
It's
fight
over in
fucking sucked.
10 seconds. Like he just goes and decapitates him and he's done.
Oh, I'm not even
I
talking about. And I called that, by the way. Did I not call that? I said
Yeah, you
Sabretooth's
did.
gonna die right away. It's gonna be a 2 second
I
fight.
like the Mad Max Hail your Queen Furious.
Yeah, that was so good. But anyways, digressing. I thought that even the fight with Deadpool and Wolverine at the beginning
Yeah.
wasn't very good.
The first fight, not the minivan fight.
No, the minivan fight was way better, but it was
Yeah.
too long. Um, that all worked for me. It's
Yeah.
just that's the other stuff. Like I said, that final fight starts and it goes for so long to get to a conclusion where I was like, this can't be what this movie ends on. This is so dumb. And then blah blah blah. I moved on. Then we got to the scene with the Deadpools, and it was just dragging. And I was like,
That
oh
at
my
that point,
god.
I'm sure Putty must have made a mess in his pants on that one.
But the idea, this is where
Mhm.
I bought in. The idea that no, we're gonna kill all these Deadpools to me was like, oh, this is a spit right in people like Putty's face of like,
Mhm.
no, we're not doing this, you idiot. They're gonna kill all of them.
Yeah.
And that scene was wicked when they turn the corner and Michael Prayer plays, and you realize that they're fighting.
Yeah.
This is their last fight. They're either they die here or
But this was an
everyone
act
dies.
this was an act 3 exposition that didn't need to be there. This was just for the dog.
Yeah,
Like it didn't need to be there except for it was fan service.
and that's fine. And
The
then
fight
even
was good. Like I mean the fight was really that was fun. It was a fun fight.
I like the way it ended too, with like them both sacrificing themselves. I just think they both should have died. I think that was your perfect segue to never having to use these characters again
Mhm.
and moving on, right? Because I don't think unless they're using Hugh
They got
Jackman, I don't think there's going to be a Wolverine.
From what I understand, this was the final for Fox. Jackman and Deadpool are coming back for Doomsday and Secret Wars, and that's it. I think Deadpool is done.
That's fair. But like I said, I wish they died. I thought it
Yeah,
would have
it
worked
would have been a
better.
fitting end. They both sacrificed themselves.
But I do think that that final little piece where they're sitting around the table with everybody and Logan's like, give me the dog, and
Yeah,
X-23's there. And then I kind of also like that. So,
yeah. That was a nice scene. I'm sure there's going to be an alternate ending where they all die.
oh, but give me whatever you want. It's
Yeah,
just,
but
I,
like, and the voice, I kind of like. I mean, you had, and this was also Ryan Reynolds shoehorning in his wife, his kids, right? And but I did like Matthew McConaughey as the Deadpool kid.
yeah.
That was Matthew McConaughey, and Headpool was Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. Headpool was awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, that was basically fan service for people like Putty.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think, I think they
Well,
did.
because I thought, like you said, I thought they were all going to die because when they kill off Nice Pool,
Yeah.
Deadpool's like, use your regeneration. He's like, what regeneration?
Yeah. And
Right.
that,
So
but
I
I
thought,
think that was the trick, right? That they
yeah,
made you think that none of these people are going to have that.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, and it was a big long fight, and it's like there was like it was a 2 hour plus movie, and between the two Deadpool and Wolverine fights and the Deadpool core fight, like you could have trimmed that a bit.
Yeah, you could. And I don't, like I said, my score is not necessarily a rating of was this movie fun? Because I thought it was fun. It's a type of
Yeah,
movie I would watch this again. I don't think it
yeah,
was an unenjoyable experience. I just think there's such a lack of substance to it.
yeah. The whole MacGuffin about the time bomb or whatever it was.
Yeah, and then you don't you're they got so sidetracked from the mission that they
Hmm.
had for so long, and I don't know.
Yeah. Nice little callback to Loki, though. You had B-15 as the head of the,
Yeah,
and I
and
guess, Owen Wilson's character was cut from the film.
yeah, that's true.
I know
I
he
forgot
was
about
cut.
that.
He was cut. I think Brie Larson's cameo was cut,
What Captain
and
Marvel was supposed to be in it,
Captain Marvel and She-Hulk. There was supposed to be a Wolverine She-Hulk fight, and
well,
it
maybe we're
didn't,
gonna get that.
and that didn't test well, and they cut it from the movie because people don't like She-Hulk.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy talk to me.
Yeah. But it was what it was. It was a fun, enjoyable ride. Like you said, I'll watch it again when like the director's cut or the extended cut, whatever comes out, just to see what differences they have. You know, if you would have cut the Deadpool core scene a little bit and the minivan scene a little bit and extended the traveling all the multiverses with all the different Wolverines, I probably would have enjoyed that a little
But
bit.
like you said, I think that's what you're gonna get if we get a director's cut, right?
Yeah, I want to see more Wolverine versus Hulk.
Yeah,
Or even if you had like Mark Ruffalo in the extended scene with Patch as Grey Hulk, as Mr. Fix-It.
but we might get that.
I hope so.
I think these are selling points to sell physical media after, right?
Yeah. But I mean, all in all, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a solid movie, definitely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put this in the upper tier of Marvel. Oh,
No.
the one thing, this is what I want to talk about. I didn't even talk about this.
Mm.
One thing that I really didn't like was that acknowledgement that this was a movie. Like, I'm going to join the MCU now. Why would everyone else be in on your fourth wall break?
I did like, why is Thor crying?
That's fair. But it's like, that has nothing to do with them knowing it's a movie. Like the fact that
No.
TVA people were acknowledging that this is a movie universe and these
Yeah.
are movies was like too much for me. Like you've gone too far into that. Now
Yeah.
that has to carry over now.
That's too
Now
much.
it's now canon. So now in all the
Yeah.
other movies, everyone knows it's a movie.
Yeah. Unless it's only Deadpool that knows it's a movie. And
But they acknowledge the fact that he was correct about that. That he's like, so
yeah,
I get to join the MCU, and they're like, yes.
he said, I get to join Marvel.
Yeah, but he's already Marvel, and how do they know that Marvel is a thing?
Yeah. That's true. I don't know.
Anyways,
That's another plot hole.
I don't have
Yeah.
nothing else. You have anything else?
No, I mean, that's all for me.
All right, well, let's just wrap that up. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you thought about the movie in the comments below, and check out Putty's videos because I know he did a lot of videos about Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we'll do something this weekend, hopefully for him and his channel. All right,
And
guys,
yeah.
thanks for watching. Peace out.